ট্রেন ফেন চলছে না, সবাই তো দূরে দূরে থাকে।
আমার সব মোটামুটি সব বাড়িরই, বাড়ির সাবিকে দুর্গা আমি করি। এবার আমার মোটামুটি অর্ডারগুলো আসছে, আর যে কাস্টমারগুলো আসছে সবাই বলছে কম দাম, এই করোনার জন্য, এই পরিস্থিতির জন্য। কিন্তু আমাদের তো সব জিনিসই কিনতে হচ্ছে, কোনো জিনিসেরই দাম কম নেই, অনেকটাই লোকসান যাচ্ছে। মানে আগে অন্তত একটা মনের জোর ছিল যে আমি এই ঠাকুরটায় এত দাম পাবো, মানে সেই অনুযায়ী ঠাকুরের দাম কমে গেছে।
Income of several families is involved around this particular festival season alone. In the pre-COVID times, about 50% of the work of Kumor Tuli would be usually done by now. But for the second consecutive year, everything is uncertain yet again.
While idol makers are bearing the brunt by making smaller idols and rejecting orders due to paucity of workers, the pujo committees have also slashed their budget by more than 90% from the usual time.
বছরের থেকেও 5 লাখ টাকা কমানো হয়েছে। মানে এইরকম একটা জায়গায় আমরা দাঁড়িয়ে আছি যে ওই সুন্দরবনেও যে পুজোয় আমরা করেছিলাম সেখানে তাদেরকে ওখানে সমস্ত মানুষকে জামা কাপড় দিয়েছিলাম ওই গ্রামের, কিন্তু এবছর হয়তো সেটা করতে পারবো না।
For lakhs of Bengalis, the pandemic has been a demon that has continued to defy happiness for 2 years in a row. But as Ma Durga would attest, health is above all. With Aparna Bose, Bureau Report, CNN News 18.
Their babies over the barbed wire barricades of the Kabul airport to give their children a better life. Inside the airport, the desperation even greater. Men tying themselves to the wheels of an American C-17 to fly away to safety. It was a suicide mission. The 3 men knew it. When they dropped to the ground, no one knew who they were. Now we do. One of them was 19-year-old Zaki Anwari, a member of the Afghan national football team. With Natasha Menden in New Delhi, I'm Shreya Dhondial.
Taliban terrorists marched into Kabul this week. Well, marched is wrong because in those tight kurta pajamas that they wear, it's very tough to actually march. Your knee gets caught in that and you'll trip and fall. So it's more like without bending the knees walk. It's like old people walking who have broken knees, that kind of thing. All right, they marched in, whether you like it or not, and took full control of Afghanistan and said the Taliban plans to soon declare a new Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan 2 decades after they were removed by the US military. So let's go straight to the presidential palace in Kabul. The world is very upset about what America has done and very worried about what will happen to Afghanistan. And let's speak to their official spokesperson, Suhail Shaheen. This may be the real guy or it may be a cheap actor. Can't tell. I'm sure you can. Mr. Suhail Shaheen, interesting name.
Yes, don't get me wrong. It's Suhail Shaheen, not to be mistaken with Suhail Seth.
I would not use both in the same sentence. Suhail Seth is a friend of mine. I know the difference.
Just saying, because I too know the difference. The difference is that Suhail Shaheen shoots the people. Suhail Seth only shoots off his mouth.
Why would you bring that up? Anyway, I also know another Suhail, Suhail Khan.
Yes, there we may have a bit of a similarity.
What is the similarity between Suhail Khan and you?
Well, both of us are handsome and good looking.
Finally, a joke by our new writer, Kunal Vijayakar. Now that can be debated, sir. Let's move on and talk about the interesting things.
But there is a difference.
Oh, God, back to that. What's the difference?
After 20 years, this Suhail has finally got a hit. After 20 years, Suhail Khan is still looking for a hit.
You don't have to, underline what you're trying to say. We understood what you were trying to say. And by the way, have you seen Aryan? It was a hit.
What?
It was a great film and it was a hit. Okay, let's get back to Afghanistan and talk about the foreigners. All the countries are closing their consulates and are getting out. The foreigners are fleeing.
Please read my statement carefully. We assure all diplomats, embassies, consulates, no problem will be created for them. In fact, secure environment will be provided to them.
See, I'm smiling not because I don't believe you, but because you just look very ravishing in a certain way. Really, a secure environment.
Yes, we shall keep them securely locked behind the bars.
Right, and hence there's fear everywhere. You can't blame people, everyone is leaving. Have you seen the footage of Afghanis trying to board a plane at the airport? I mean, the desperate situation that they've got themselves into, the fear, the fact that there's no hope. Have a look at this footage.
That is nothing. Those people are just trying to go for vacation.
Vacation?
Yes, vacation. Do not worry. We have made alternative plans for them. We will send them on a permanent holiday.
That's how my cousins came into my house and never left. And now we are in court. No wonder people are running away, sir. Look at what you're saying.
Read my statement. There is no reason for anybody to leave. Nobody should fear us. We will not harm anybody.
You will not harm anybody.
Anybody.
You will not harm anybody.
Anybody. Except women. Americans, American women, women who behave like Americans, American men who behave like women, European women who behave like men.
Okay, all right.
Welcome back. The Hurriyat Conference has rejected allegations that its leaders were involved in selling admissions in medical colleges of Pakistan for financing terror in Kashmir. This comes even as top government sources tell CNN News18 that the centre is considering banning the outfit. A ban under the stringent Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, that is the UAPA, may be imposed on both factions of the Hurriyat Conference for engaging in anti-national activities.
हुर्रियत कॉन्फ्रेंस एक अलगाववादी संगठन है। हुर्रियत कॉन्फ्रेंस के नेता, चाहे वो अलीशा गिलानी है या अन्य बाकी के नेता हैं, ये पाकिस्तान की कठपुतली हैं। पाकिस्तान के इशारों पर नाचने वाले हुर्रियत कॉन्फ्रेंस के इन नेताओं ने पिछले 30-35 वर्षों में कश्मीर घाटी को बर्बाद किया है। पाकिस्तान से पैसे लेकर, बम, बंदूक, पिस्तौल, गोलियां लेकर इन्होंने कश्मीर घाटी को लहूलुहान किया है। हुर्रियत कॉन्फ्रेंस की जो मदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उसको पहले ही बैन कर दिया गया है।
हुर्रियत को जो बैन करने की बात चल रही है, ये बहुत बड़ा वेलकम स्टेप है। हुर्रियत के लोग जो हैं खाते तो भारत की हैं और आज़ादी की बात करते हैं, पाकिस्तान की बात करते हैं। उग्रवाद को बढ़ावा देने के लिए लोगों से पैसे उगराना, हवाला से भी पैसे लेना, उनको एडमिशन्स दिलवाने के नाम पर भी पैसे देना और उसी पैसे को उग्रवाद की तरफ जो है धकेलना और उग्रवादियों को जो हथियार आते हैं, इस प्रकार का जो एक बहुत बड़ा एक षड्यंत्र है, वो आज एक्सपोज हुआ है।
Tejinder Sodhi is now joining me on the phone line. Tejinder, how soon can we expect this to happen?
See, Maria, the sources in the Ministry of Home Affairs are telling us that the decision to ban both the sections of the Hurriyat Conference could be taken in next few weeks. Right now, this investigation and the decision, it's in the initial stage, and the decision has been is being taken after, if you remember, just a few days ago at 56 places, the NIA conducted raids, and those places were linked to the leaders, houses of the leaders of the Jamaat-e-Islami, which is the parent organization of this all-party Hurriyat Conference. All-party Hurriyat Conference, which came into existence in early 90s, that is in 1993 to be precise. Their sole aim was the succession of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir from the Union of India, and Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, the hawkish chairman of the one section of the Hurriyat Conference, had been saying that his aim is to make sure that the Jammu and Kashmir joins Pakistan. So the Hurriyat Conference has been continuously supporting terrorism. The secessionist movement in Jammu and Kashmir is being supported by Hurriyat Conference. They have been instigating the youth of Jammu and Kashmir to take up arms. Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani time and again was asked to denounced the armed terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, but he never denounced it. Even he has been till date supporting this armed insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir. But yes, the Narendra Modi-led government is now seriously contemplating to ban both the sections of the Hurriyat Conference, decision of which will be taken in next few weeks. Yes,
All right.
Maria.
Thank you so much for joining us. Some piece of breaking news coming in now. There's a high-level security meet is happening at the Ministry of Home Affairs on border grid and telecom service providers. Meet is being chaired by Union Home Secretary. The focus is on countering drone threat, telecommunication challenges on border and taking care of border infiltration. Arunima is tracking the story and she joins me on the phone line. Arunima, go ahead.
So, there have been some concerns that in border areas, often Pakistani telecommunication networks catch the signal, whereas Indian telecommunication networks don't. The airwaves are utilized by Pakistani-based propagandists to try and influence our border villagers against India. These concerns have been raised earlier too. There was one round of meeting earlier also about 2 months back, 2.5 months back. This is a follow-up meeting. In this meeting, we are told telecommunication providers are also present. Also on the agenda are discussions about border infiltration and overall security along the international border in Jammu and Kashmir.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Arunima. Now, a quick wrap of all that's making news throughout the country. The last rites of former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Kalyan Singh took place in his native place of Atrauli. Union ministers, chief ministers and political leaders of the BJP were present in Atrauli. The road leading to Ram Janambhoomi in Ayodhya will be named after Kalyan Singh. Besides this, Lucknow, Bulandshahr, Aligarh and Prayagraj will also have roads on his name. Enforcement Directorate files a charge sheet today against Anil Deshmukh's aides Kundan Shinde and Sanjeev Palande in the money laundering case. Kundan Shinde is Anil Deshmukh's personal assistant and Sanjeev is his personal secretary. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal inaugurated India's first smoke tower in Connaught Place today. This over 20-meter tall structure has been set up to improve air quality in a radius of around 1 kilometers. As the evacuation process from Taliban-controlled Afghanistan continues, 2 person out of 146 returnees have tested positive for COVID-19 today. The infected persons will be placed in isolation. The foreign returnees group reached the national capital earlier this morning. And that's all from me. Zaka Jacob joins you next with Viewpoint.